Bianca Ojukwu, the widow wife to late Odumegwu Chukwuemeka Ojukwu and the current Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in Nigeria, has stated that she would do everything possible to ensure that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu releases Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB). Speaking at the 13th memorial anniversary of her late husband, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, which was held in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on Tuesday, with the theme Unifying the Igbo Race, Bianca Ojukwu emphasized that freeing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would help to expose criminal elements that are used his detention as cover for heinous crimes in the southeast. Bianca Ojukwu also called for an end to the violence plaguing the southeast, stressing that the Igbo people were not known for harming their own. She highlighted the need for collective action to reclaim the region from criminality and insecurity. According to her words, the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is paramount to separating genuine freedom fighters from criminals causing mayhem in the southeast. Our people face existential threats and we must act to restore peace, she said. Communities are empty. Our illustrious sons and daughters have fled. Kidnappers now adopt their brothers for ransom. This is not what Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu fought for. She added, President Tinubu understands the importance of Nnamdi Kanu's release. It will expose the masqueraders behind the violence and help restore order. I will do whatever it takes to ensure His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu grant this request. She also decried the imposition of violent sit-at-home orders in the southeast, which she said contradicts the ideals of self-determination and have stifled economic activities in the region. According to her words, Ndi Igbo are enterprising and their brothers keepers. We must reclaim our land and continue to propagate the ideals for which Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu stood for, she stated. Now let me take you back to a day that felt heavy yet hopeful. The city of Owerri, vibrant and alive, yet subdued by the struggle it faces, was hosting a special event. It was the 13th memorial anniversary of a man who needs no introduction in Igbo land, Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. This wasn't just another gathering, it was a time for reflection and action. The theme of the event, Unifying the Igbo Race, carried the weight that everyone in the room felt deeply. At the heart of it all stood a woman whose words carried the legacy of her late husband and the hope of a fractured people. Bianca Ojukwu, graceful yet resolute, took the stage. She didn't speak just to fill the air. She spoke to ignite something in the heart of her people. I will do whatever it takes to ensure President Tinubu releases Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, she said. The room felt silent. Everyone knew this wasn't just a statement, it was a promise, and Bianca Ojukwu doesn't make promises lightly. But before we dive into the heart of her message, Let's talk about Bianca Ojukwu herself. Bianca Ojukwu isn't just any figure in Nigerian society. She's a former beauty queen, a diplomat, and the widow of the man who led Biafra during one of the most turbulent times in Nigeria's history. But more than that, she is a woman who has dedicated her life to the cause of the Igbo people. Over the years, Bianca Ojukwu has won many hearts as an ambassador, as a mother, and as a public figure, advocating for justice. But at the core of all these roles is her unwavering belief in the dignity and potential of her people. That belief was evident in every word she spoke at the memorial. Let's talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB). For years, he has been a polarizing figure. To some, he is a hero fighting for the freedom of the Igbo people. To others, his methods and rhetorics have been controversial. But one thing is certain: his detention has become a symbol of the broader struggle in the southeast. Bianca Ojukwu made it clear that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release is not just about one man, it is about addressing the chaos that has gripped the region. The release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is paramount to separating genuine freedom fighters from criminals causing mayhem in the southeast, she said, and she is right. The southeast has been plagued by violence, kidnappings, and economic stagnation. Markets that once boosted with activity are now ghost town. Streets that were once safe are now dangerous. People live in fear, and it is heartbreaking. Bianca Ojukwu described this vividly. Our communities are empty. Our illustrious sons and daughters have fled. Kidnappers now adopt their brothers for ransom. This is not what Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu fought for. Those words hit hard because they reflect a reality that many in the southeast know all too well. To truly grasp the depths of Bianca Ojukwu's plea, you need to understand the situation in the southeast. Over the past few years, the region has seen a rise in violence. It started with genuine call for self-determination and justice, but has since been hijacked by criminal elements. One of the most troubling aspects of this violence has been the sit-at-home orders. These orders, initially introduced by IPOB as a form of protest, has spiraled out of control. What was meant to be a peaceful way to make a statement has turned into a tool of oppression. People are forced to stay indoors out of fear for their lives. Businesses have been crippled, and the region's economy has suffered immensely. Bianca Ojukwu spoke passionately about this. Ndị Igbo are enterprising and their brothers keeper. We must reclaim our land and continue to propagate the ideals for which Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu stood for. Her words were a reminder that the Igbo people are known for their resilience and ingenuity. Bianca Ojukwu drew a clear line between Nnamdi Kanu's detention and the unrest in the southeast. She argued that his continued imprisonment has given criminals a cover to operate. By releasing Nnamdi Kanu, she believes the government can expose these criminals and begin the process of restoring peace. President Tinubu understands the importance of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release, she said, with conviction. It will expose the masqueraders behind the violence and help restore order. These aren't just empty words. Bianca Ojukwu is someone who understands the power of action, and her appeal to President Tinubu is rooted in the belief that she can make a difference. You might be wondering, why should this matter to people outside the Southeast? Well, the truth is, the challenges facing the Southeast are a reflection of larger issues in Nigeria. Injustice anywhere affects everyone. When a region as vital as the Southeast is in turmoil, it has ripple effects on the entire country. Bianca Ojukwu's message isn't just about Igbo unity. It is about national unity. It is about creating a Nigeria where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. And that starts with addressing the grievances that have fueled the unrest. What makes Bianca Ojukwu's plea even more powerful is her personal commitment. She didn't just make a general call for action, she made it personal. I will do whatever it takes to ensure His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu grant this request, she said. That is not something you hear every day from a public figure. It is a reminder that true leadership is about more than just words. It is about taking action even when it is difficult. As Bianca Ojukwu left the stage that day, her words lingered in the air. She has spoken not just as the widow of a legend, but as a mother, a leader, and a voice for the voiceless. Her plea was clear. It is time for action. The Southeast deserves peace. The Igbo people deserve justice. And Nigeria deserves to move forward as a united nation. Bianca Ojukwu's message is a challenge to all of us. It is a reminder that we all have a role to play in building the kind of society we want to live in. Whether it is through advocacy, dialogue, or simply standing up for what is right, we can all contribute. At the heart of this story is hope. Hope that Nnamdi Kanu will be released. Hope that the violence in the Southeast will end. And hope that the ideals for which Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu stood for, which is justice, unity, and dignity, will guide us forward. Bianca Ojukwu has taken up the mantle of leadership not out of obligation, but out of love for her people. Her words are a testament to the power of legacy and the enduring fight for what is right. Now, the question is, will her call be answered? Will President Tinubu listen to her? Will the Southeast find the peace it so desperately needs? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Bianca Ojukwu won't stop fighting until President Tinubu releases Nnamdi Kanu.
All hail Biafra, land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. We have vanquished our enemies. All hail Biafra. God bless Biafra. In Him we trust. Shout it, sing it. All hail Biafra. God bless Biafra. We have emerged triumphant from all our foes.
What does Biafra mean?
It means freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, and justice.
In practical terms, these are very good sounding words, but in practical terms, what does Biafra mean?
Confederation.
So a weak center,
Very weak.
very strong regions.
Absolutely.
Have you had a change of mind, therefore, about getting an independent Biafra? Because that's what I seem to be hearing.
No, I've not changed my mind, no. And independent Biafra means going back to the way we were before the white man came.
Okay, so you're not talking about a federation when you say a confederation. You're not talking about a federation as part of Nigeria. You're talking about total independence.
Absolute independence.
Complete independence. Now, is there anything that can happen that will make you change your mind about this particular direction?
No.
So it is either Biafra or nothing
Or
else.
death, yes.
Or death.
That's correct.
If push comes to shove,
Yes.
will you go to war?
No, because truth is a far more potent and deadlier weapon than bullets and mortars.
So no war. You've ruled out the...
Absolutely, I don't want war. No, no war. When I say Biafra order, then I'll keep pushing. Either I am alive, I die in the process, I won't stop. Allow me to repeat, if you don't mind. Had sovereign national conference been convened by the powers that be, where every ethnic national, I said every, I don't care if there are 600, I don't care. Everyone is
all the 500 plus.
everyone together to say this is, or others can delegate, I don't know, powers to other people to attend on their behalf. Sit down to say, what type of country do we want? Sit down, discuss, agree. I can begin to perhaps submit to your position.
Is it too late?
It is way too late. They've killed too many people. They've ruined too many lives. They've wasted too many souls. How do we bring those people back?
If the federal government, given the agitation that is going on, becomes convinced that, you know what, these people have a point, it is time to actually address all these issues, and they begin to systematically address some of these issues, would you change your mind?
No, because of the deceptions of the past.
No trust.
No trust. Aburi was there, it was negotiated. Nothing happened. 1968, if I recall. And the confab report, what became of it? How about the 3 R's? Reconciliation, reconstruction, and heaven knows what else. What became of them? Nothing. Calabar Seaport is not working. Can you tell me why it's not working? It's a seaport used by the colonial masters. Why is it not working today? How about Iguacha Seaport? Why is it not being used? Why not worry? Why must we allow only Lagos to function as a viable seaport? In England, where I used to live, you had Liverpool, you had the Salem, which is Portsmouth, Southampton, everywhere. You had harbors and ports. So why must you have only one?
I've heard people say these are very valid arguments, and that these are things that are to do with bad governance. So the average Biafran, to use your phrase, or Igbo man in the Igbo, is facing poverty much in the same way that the average guy in Yobe State is facing poverty. And so these are issues of governance. You don't agree with that?
I agree completely.
Okay. So if that is it, why isn't the agitation about tackling the problem, which is ensuring good governance, perhaps starting from locally? Because part of the allegations against you is that you don't confront your political leaders in the East, and you'd like to blame Abuja for everything.
Because the way I would want to solve a problem is not how a Fulani man would want to solve it.
You really believe this is an ethnic thing, and the approach is different?
No, the approach is different. No, it's not ethnic. It is more to do with value system.
Right.
The way you may want to solve a problem could be markedly different from how I do mine.
What is the geographical makeup of Biafra, as far as you are concerned? This Biafra that you want. So, for example, if we're doing a referendum, where will that referendum take place? Is it only the 5?
It's on, no.
It's okay.
It's on, which is River State, Bayelsa. Delta, Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Cross River.
Akwa Ibom?
And Akwa Ibom, of course. Yes.
Right.
Those are the coasters. Basically,
Bayelsa?
yes. Southeast and South-South without Edo State.
Without Edo State.
That's correct. And then including Igede, Idoma.
Right, the Benues. So the Igalas and part of the Kogi
yes.
State, right?
Yeah.
Nyoso Muike, the governor of Anambra, sorry, the governor of Rivers State, made a statement, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and said, you know, you should not be including Rivers State
it's for
and the
Rivers to decide,
people.
not him. I can't decide for Biafrans. They have to go and vote and convince the whole world that they want Biafra. It's not for him. It's only one man, one vote.
What if they're not even willing to take part in the referendum? Because I've had people from the South, for example, from Bayelsa. I've had people from Cross River. I think there's a famous actress, Kate Henshaw, for example, wrote a long piece about why people of the South don't want to be dragged into a place called Biafra. You're saying, regardless of what they say, you want a referendum in those parts?
Because I know the majority of the people want a referendum. I was in Iguacha yesterday.
How do you know?
I was there yesterday. I was in Iguacha yesterday. You call Port Harcourt. I was there yesterday. I should have been there to see what happened.
Now,
they were delighted to see me. I'm sure you know that. It's all over the place. They are very happy to see me. I bet Kate Henshaw wouldn't get such reception were she to go to
she's a big, popular Nollywood actress. I wouldn't necessarily...
I'm telling you, if I go to her village, people will turn out to see me more than turn out to see her.
Briefly, I've done good. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. 20% in the upper house of parliament, while Kenyans and other African countries are pushing hard at the barriers to implement
For the Facebook.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Please.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, before we leave, can we use you?
That's our office. Oh, okay.
You're blocking me. Shift me.
You have tried now. Thank you.
Your Excellency, we wish to see you.
Gentlemen, please, let's leave now.
You're blocking the camera. No, she will. Okay, Excellency, would you like to see from here or from here?
Yes, okay.
That is better. Okay, so give away there.
Okay, let her come there. So that
Yeah.
Foremost, I would like to extend immense thanks to the President President Bola Tinubu, who swore us in as substantive ministers, no longer ministers designate today at the Villa. And I'd like to thank in a very special way the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Toga, the Permanent Secretary as well, who pulled all the stops to ensure that things went seamlessly. And so many other officers of our ministry. I call it our ministry because this is essentially my second missionary journey to MFA. And as you can see, it was a very warm welcome. and I feel right at home. I believe that the president knows what is imperative in Nigeria's foreign policy. I am, of course, yet to be briefed by HMFA, but essentially we all in this ministry would be keen into the four tenets of the foreign policy thrust of the president, being democracy, strengthening democratic institutions, especially around the African continent, development, keen into the African continental free trade area to harness our immense economic potentials, and of course taking advantage of Nigeria's demography. As you all know, 70% of our population is under the age of 43. So that's a huge demographic. And we fully intend to harness the immense potentials at their disposal to ensure that our country gets that burst of creative talent, skills, of the vibrant energy of youth and what they bring to every dynamic country. Most importantly, we intend to key into the president's initiatives regarding the diaspora. We all know how strategic our diaspora population is. I mean, the diaspora remits 22 billion. And you can see what we can achieve if we leverage on their economy and the foreign direct investment that they can help engineer and drive. Something that is very important, I think, to most of us here, and I say this because this ministry has a crop of some of the most dedicated officers. I have worked with many of them, and they are dedicated to the advancement of the foreign interests of this country. And they're also dedicated, and I saw during my tenure as an ambassador to the Kingdom of Spain, really what they were able to bring to bear with very limited funding, and how they were able to intervene for the benefit of our citizens abroad. That's a very, very important aspect for us, to ensure that our embassies, our missions really abroad are run more efficiently, to ensure that they're able to provide greater services, seamless services to our citizens, and also to ensure that we're able to come to the aid of our citizens abroad in distress, wherever they may be. So I think essentially this keys into and aligns with the President's foreign policy objectives. He today made it clear that we're facing challenging times, but if we all join hands, commit ourselves to ensuring that we can lift this country from the situation in which we find ourselves, then the sky is the limit for what we're going to be able to do, especially in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I'll see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.